Okay guys, this part of the video we're going to go over drawing number 2.1. If I can find the instruction sheet here. Here we go. So 2.1 is this drawing. You're going to find it in OneNote under Fundamentals, and then just on one of the PDFs. It will literally be labeled, I think, D1, maybe the bottom, the tail end of the document name. Anywho, okay, so we're going to show you real quick how to do this, and then we're just going to talk about this, and we'll talk about that one, and then you guys are going to move on and have fun and enjoy it. So, first things first, let's show you what the drawing looks like. Oh, boom, boom. Here it is. So, real quick, this one here is simply going to be dividing this up into 6 equal spaces, and then equally spacing the 8 spaces, and then doing the measurements there from 0.5 coming from the end, making our way that way, and then going over these ones. I won't draw this entirely. I'm just going to start it and then maybe do 1 line or 2 lines and then be done. This one here we're going to go over right afterwards, but it has kind of the same principles, but we'll just kind of brush over it. So, real quick, I'm going to zoom out. Here we are. This is this previous drawing title I did. So if you start a new day and you're looking to finish a drawing you already started, there's multiple ways you can do that. First, you got to make sure that your T-square is square again with your previous drawing. So I'm holding it down and sliding it down on top, and then I'm just going to simply grab my drafting dots that I have pulled aside for myself, make sure I'm locked, holding down, tape, and taping it. Last but not least, taping it. So we're going to make this a really quick video because the next period's about to come in. So I'm going to pull it again. There's that one. Okay, cool. Just to double check before I start, I take my T-square and I line it up at the bottom of that line to make sure I'm square. And if I'm not square, then I just simply go to the upper right-hand corner of my desk and untwist that knob, and then I can twist this thing left and right to get it back to square. Alright, zooming back out. So I got to break this up into 6 equal spaces. There's multiple ways to do it. Of course, you can measure the line, right, using whatever scale you choose, and then taking that number and dividing it by 2. I do a cool method where I go 0 on the vertical line because I'm trying to divide it vertically. So I'll line my 0 up with this vertical line and my 12 up with this line. Keep in mind it is slanted. Doesn't matter because I'm going to be dividing this up equally. I will take my divider because that's how I'm going to stab. I take 12 and I divide it by 3 because there's 3 equal spaces, which comes up with 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I'm just going to go 4 inches, 8 inches, and then 12's down there. Simply take my T-square, or not my T-square, I'm sorry, triangle, and now that I know where it's at, I'm just simply going to draw the line. These are an object line, so they got to be somewhat dark. There's my other dot. Here it is. Perfect. Now the only way that worked is because I wanted to divide them up equally into 3 equal spaces, so I made sure that my 0 was on this vertical line and my 12 was on this vertical line. If I go 0 on a vertical and then 12 on a horizontal, it won't break it up equally, as you can tell, because this can simply just slide up and down on this, right? And then see how my measurement of my 8 inches is changing? It's away from it. But if I keep it here, it doesn't matter where I slide it. It's supposed to stay that way, and it's going to stay that way. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to divide it this way. Remember, you can measure, or you can do my little nifty trick here. 12, 0, 0, 12, half of 12 is 6. Stab, slide it up. Notice one thing when I'm drawing, I don't just slide this thing up because your paper will catch. So I lift it up every once in a while when I'm going over something. There it is. Keeping my pencil straight up and down and drawing while I'm spinning. There it is. So I'm broke up into all those spaces. So the first object you're supposed to do, you're supposed to divide this square up into 8 equal spaces. So you can do the trial and error method, right? Or you can do my method of measuring. Or you can tip it, right? So simply 0 by 4 And then what is 4 divided by 8, which comes up to a half. And then you just simply stab half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and then just draw your vertical lines. So that's that one, broke up to 8 equal spaces. Then we got this one, real simple. Just start on one end because it's 3.5 is the equal space, and my measurement is supposed to be 0.5 right there. So I'm just going to simply just go half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and 3.5 is at the end. It breaks me up into my equal spaces. Now, you got that. We're going to talk about these. These are the important ones. So I'm going to zoom in here. We're going to look at this one. One thing you're going to notice about this square is every square is going to have a C and an X, which means simply the center of this box. Okay? So how you simply do that is you just go from corner to corner with your triangle and then draw an X, and then corner to corner and draw another X, and that's the center. Notice every single one of these, their first line all share their degree that is required to go through the center. So don't go out here and start measuring 0.5 because that's what it's asking you to do. You just simply start with the center and work 0.5 each way. Same goes down to here with your 75 degrees, and then same here with your measurement and then your adjustable triangle, which we'll do. So I'm going to do the first one real quick. I just want you guys to watch it, and then I'm just going to quickly explain how I did it and maybe brush over some stuff. So there's my X. I'm going to start. Keep in mind everything's light right now. I'm not looking to go really dark and thick. So there it is. I'll just do my other ones just so we're on top of it. Notice I'm not taking up the whole bloody X either. I kind of know where the center is, so I'm just going to draw it real light first. Just so I don't have to erase all that stuff, because it kind of gets to be in a pain in the butt when you have to erase a bunch of stuff and use your erasing shield, which we'll go over here in just a second because I didn't show it in my previous video. So there's all my X's. I go back here. These lines are drawn at 30 degrees. These ones are drawn at 75 degrees, right? So 30 degree, here's my 30 degree triangle. Keep in mind they're drawn going this way, so I just roll my triangle up, lay it down. There's my first one. It needs to be dark because it's an object line. Remember, I'm rolling my pencil, yes? So I'm through the center, okay? Now, one thing you're going to notice about this paper is that we have another line here, and this is our construction line. It's a light construction line, which means it's perpendicular to our 30 degrees. So the way we figure out this light construction line perpendicular from our 30 is we just simply go perpendicular meaning 90, right? I just subtracted from my existing angle that I'm trying to be perpendicular off of. So 90 minus 30, 60 degrees. Here's my 60 degree triangle. Slide it up, put it down. Now, it's a light construction line, meaning it's very, very light. There it is. Now, my next step, I just simply measure on that construction line to do my 0.5 break aparts. So there's 3, 3.5, 2, there's 4, there's 4.5, there's 5. Now I'm doing it that way because I need to be perpendicular. If I'm twisted a little bit and you guys do this by your eye, the first 2 or 3 might be amazing, but then as you get further out, those lines start getting closer and closer and closer because there's a gradual angle to it. So now that I did that, I'm just simply going to lay it back down on top of here. I have them. I'll draw them. Real simple, right? Boom. Boom. Now imagine I'm just going to draw real quick because I got to go over how to use the erasing shield. I went past it, right? So I'm going to grab my erasing shield. If I had one. There we go. Here it is. Here's my erasing shield, just like the video. I'm going to put it, the big hole, on the line, and I'm just going to erase just like so. And then it disappears. The dry eraser, not dry eraser, I'm sorry, those erasing pads that I squeeze. Will you grab one for me, Jake? Thank you, sir. Because as you guys get drawing, your tools will get dirty, so you guys grab your cleaning solution, just clean them off at the table so you aren't getting anything wet, and then wipe them down with your paper towel, because as you go across this, you're going to notice they get real dirty. It's black smudge marks. And then you can grab these guys and just simply squeeze it over the top, and then you can just simply roll it over the top of it, and it starts erasing those light guidelines, or whatever line you didn't want. Okay, so I've done my 30 degrees. Now we're going to go to our 75 degrees that is required. You can draw 75 degrees with two of our triangles, because I know what 30 is and I know what 45 equals. 30 plus 45 is 75. Okay, my line, keep everyone quiet when they walk in, just so I can finish this. Thank you, Jake. Okay, my angles need to go this way, so that's the wrong way. I just simply flip it, and now I'm going this way, yes? So, just like before, guys, and just like the last drawing, I simply make it dark, right? Because I know that need to be dark. Now, my next step, they need to be perpendicular. So, what's my math? 90 degrees minus my existing angle of 75, which comes up to 15 degrees. So, how do I make 15 degrees? Real simple. Put our two triangles together. If the 90s are away from each other, right, then any way I lay this sucker down, the top angle is 15 degrees. Looking at this, my angle needs to go this way on that 15. So I'm going to lay it down here. Ooh, see how I'm not quite getting it? So I need to lay it down. There it is. There's my 15 light guideline. I'm set. And then of course you just repeat the steps that you did up there. Now, the last one that I need to go over, and then we're going to talk about these. Okay, if I zoom in here, okay, you're simply going to find out that I need to have a light construction line and my object lines here, but none of those are given angles, which simply means, guys, that you're given measurements here. You're 0.5 from the bottom of this line over up to this point here. Sorry for the music, it's Friday. There's that line. Extension line comes down to this point, which means here's my line. I'm down 0.5, I'm up 0.5. There's my first line. Okay, same thing here. Okay, I'm down 0.62 for my light construction line, but I don't have a measurement here. Notice that line comes through the center. So I simply just make my point, connect it, go through my center, just like I do over here. Make sense? Okay, zoom out. We're going to do it real quick because we got to learn how to use that adjustable triangle. Okay, here we are. I'm going to come up 0.5, use my divider to break. So there's my 0.5. Come over here. There's my 0.5. Now, because I'm over here, I know by looking at my conversion chart real quick that 0.62, guys, 0.5, 0.62, right there, 0.62 comes over to 5/8. So I'm just simply going to come down 5/8, right? There's half, there's 5/8. I know where my center's at, so I'm just going to quickly draw these guys. Here we go. Remember, I don't have an existing angle, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set my 5/8. I forgot where my 5/8 was at now. Bummer. Let's take a look. 5/8 is this one. So I'm going to come here through my center, dark line, yes? Then I'm going to come over here, half, half. There it is. There we go. Now, how do I get that angle? Well, it's real simple, guys. You're going to use your adjustable triangle, which you're going to find in the back with your drafting dots. I simply lay this down here. Notice that's not 45 degrees, but it's gradual. It's more. I'm going to loosen it. I'm going to extend it. And I'm just going to extend it until that line matches up. There it is. Now, simply lock it. Okay, I'm set, right? So I can draw all those, but how do I get the perpendicular line? Well, that's a great question. Remember our equation that we did over here. Remember, if we know our angle and we subtract it by 90 because we want to be perpendicular, well, we don't know what it is, right? Well, cool trick. A triangle, right? A triangle equals 180 degrees. If I look at this adjustable triangle right now, I know that's 90, which means 180 minus 90 is 90. So technically, if I have an angle here that I have no idea what the measurement is, okay, technically the other side of that angle up here must be added up to make 90, which means simply, I don't know how to make that perpendicular line. Well, simply rotate it up. rotate it up, go through the center. This is your light guideline. Measure off your 0.5. Real simple, right? So here's the trick. When you turn this into me, I better see stab marks for the divider. And when I ask you how you did this, you simply tell me I used the adjustable triangle and I set my angles and I used the measurements. Okay, real quick, we're going to talk about this. Same principle, right? Only difference is the 8 equal spaces. If you go at the bottom of Unit 2, you will find a PDF that's called the Alphabet of Lines. Here it is. Okay, notice you start here, you work here. You start here, you work there. See how the lines line up? Same principle. If you don't know how to draw those, blue book, right? We did it in Unit 2 worksheet, blue book, page 49. It'll tell you how to draw those again. Make sense? Now, that's done. Here we go. Notice every one of these little boxes have an X, meaning what? The center. There's my center, there's my center, there's my center, there's my center. Okay, this first one, every space needs to be 10 millimeters because I'm using a metric scale now. So notice the first line, the first set of lines don't go through the center. So if this gap needs to be 10 and it needs to be centered, I simply come from the center, go up 5, down 5 to find my horizontal line. Left 5, right 5 to find the first line. And then I just start stepping it back. Here, this is a compass. Every one of them is back 0.5. So if I zoom out here and I look at this and quickly just draw a couple of them so you guys can see what I'm talking about, it becomes fairly easy of looking at it. So, if I can get my big fingers in there. Okay, I know my centers. I'm going to stab to that corner. I'm going to extend out. I'm going to find my center because the center is going to be the same on every single one of these arcs. Right? Notice, if I start here, this arc starts from the center, works my way down. I simply start from the center, start there, work my way down. Keep that same angle, go over here. Work my way out. Keep that same angle, go over here. Make my way out. See how I'm doing that? Now, I'm not quite dead in the center because I needed to extend this a little bit more. But if I know how to measure my angle, right? So I'm about 2 9/16, or if we're doing metric, I'm sorry. I grab my metric scale, wherever the heck it's at. Losing stuff. Okay, I need to know what I am, so I'll flip it around. There's that. So I'm about 75, which means 75 minus 10 because I'm 10 millimeters of a gap, right? You would be 55. So then you just simply bring it back to 55, right? And then you just simply go over the corners again. Real simple, right guys? And then just keep stepping it down. Notice I'm not changing this compass until I've done all 4 corners. And then I change it. Then I do 4 corners, and then I change it, right? You got to think of speed, accuracy. Keep it the same, keep rotating it, keep arcing it. Okay, this one we're just going to talk about. These are 60 degrees. All these light center lines are 60 degrees. So if you got a question, ask me, but this is hexagon. You should draw all these 60-degree marks both ways, and then all these lines should start lining up. And then just physically look at that one, but these are drawn at 45 degrees. Okay, guys, last but not least, this one. 2 circles, okay? There's multiple arcs how you can do it. If you have a question, please ask me, but it's very important that this gap, and this gap are the same, so make sure you follow your millimeters and use your compass because that symbol means diameter. Okay? R means radius, of course. So, I think that's all you guys need to know. If you have any questions, please ask. Please do not sit there and just stare into the abyss thinking for a half hour or even for a full day. I've seen it happen and kids fail my class because they sit there and stare. Ask a question. Thank you very much. Have a good day.